Alright, so one thing that I really got to point out, and I'm gonna do what I can to poke holes in the logic behind people that's doing this. Um, Now, when it comes to the fuel island, taking breaks, dilly dallying inside the store, waiting on food, whatever. Now, my thoughts about the fuel island. Now, I will admit this, and this is something that, and everybody that drives nighttime uh, does this often. But at 1 a.m., all the parking's full, every bit of the shoulder, all the way out of that Love's parking lot, all the way onto the interstate, is all full with drivers. There's no place to park, and there isn't hardly anybody getting any fuel. You'll see 2 or 3 trucks parked next to fuel pumps, and they're taking their 30-minute breaks, which, to me, taking your break on the fuel island whenever there's other pumps that are readily available for people coming in with their schedule, they can get fuel and get on with their day. But it's another thing than to force people to wait behind you during the daytime, during peak hours. Now, and this is one of the reasons why there's so much hate for people taking breaks on the fuel island. It is a straight up fucking disrespect to other drivers to make them wait behind you. Now, the way I am when I'm getting fuel for someone at the pull-up position, I've already topped off all of my tanks. I'm ready to go. It ain't no big deal for me to turn on my hazards and back out and go around the fuel island and go out. But a lot of times in the middle of the day, a lot of times it's that pull-up position and the person that's fueling, and then there's someone waiting behind him. So the person at that pump is trapped in the fuel island. And the part that really makes my skin crawl on this is about the straight up disrespect to other people. You don't know the chain reaction you're causing by forcing others to wait behind you. You have no idea if the freight I'm hauling, if there's 3 towns in Pennsylvania where that entire population's employed by the warehouse I'm going to, and all of their employment depends on me making that delivery on time. Yeah, and you have no respect for that and expect others to wait behind you. Yeah, fuck you, asshole. So, that's the reason why there's so much hate over the people taking breaks on the fuel island. And it is because it is straight up disrespectful to other people's schedule. Now, that tight schedule, it could be that driver's fault. It could be because of maintenance issues, the truck being in the shop. Or it could be a driver that manages tight schedules, that his company dispatches him those tight schedules all the time. If you're good at your job, you can pretty well expect to be being good at your job with those tight schedules for your entire career. So, but whether it's that driver's fault or not, doesn't matter. It's still like the example that I brought up. If the entire employment of 3 towns in Pennsylvania depends on that freight being delivered on time, if even if it's that driver's fault that schedule is that tight, how would you feel with it being on your conscience that you making that driver wait made him miss that, and those 3 towns is without jobs now? So, and one thing too is the excuses on this is they're lame, stupid excuses, illogical excuses. My favorite one that I've heard is, you need to mind your own business. Okay. So, me being trapped behind you and not able to get on with my day because of you is none of my business? Really? Dumbass? Another excuse is, well, I had to wait too. Okay, so if someone's ever wrong, let them be wrong by themselves. Don't pass that shit on to other people. And it's not an excuse to pass that disrespect on to other drivers. Now, and then also, someone who thought they came up with a brilliant excuse. And this is bullshit, but to a lot of people it sounds legitimate, especially to a lot of people who are really younger. Now, oh God, I got this excuse is, well, back in the good old days, people done that. People parked their truck while an attendant fueled the truck up for them while they sat down and ate a whole meal in that restaurant. Okay, now, because of me getting to go on the road as a young child back in the 80s, during the good old days of trucking, you're talking about a time period before ELDs. Before ELDs were ever imagined. Also, you're basing this off of movies from the 60s and 70s, so you are too young to even know what it was really like in that time, and you're basing it off of what you see in movies. And also, another thing too, back in those days, is you could park your truck next to the fuel pump and go in and eat, yes, but that attendant would fuel your truck up and park your truck for you. And his process would be and carry it on to the next truck that pulls up. Now today, with ELDs that trigger just by the truck rolling, yeah, you don't want an attendant moving your truck for you. especially with a lot of the these softwares, the process it takes to log in and out of them. You don't want to do that process every time you get fuel, do you? So, also when it comes to how I deal with these circumstances, I'm a very confrontational person. If I'm trapped in the fuel island, now I don't go up right off the bat being an asshole, raising my voice, or being disrespectful. I walk up and then confronting you. I'm asking you, hey, I'm on a tight schedule. If you don't mind, I really need to get on with my day. Now, just by not being an asshole about it, most of the time it goes over better. It goes over better for you just by being rational about it. Now, if I ever become an asshole or raise my voice, it is whenever they escalate it to that. Now, at that point, once they've escalated it, no, I'm not gonna be I'm gonna be resistant on it, trying to get into a fight. But now this is ultimately what I'm going to do for people that are going to straight up refuse to move, or people that I have no success at locating while their truck is abandoned on the fuel island. You're driving a fucking billboard. It is nothing for me to Google that company on that door and get that truck number that's on the side of your truck somewhere and talk to your dispatch. Now, of the times I've resorted to doing that, there's two companies, and talking to them about this and trying to get it resolved, their words to me is, okay, we've got that, we'll try to contact that driver, we are truly sorry, and that driver will never do that again because he will not be driving for us after this. And rightfully so. A lot of companies that I call, yes, it puts you at risk of being fired. And rightfully so. If you don't have any respect for other drivers, then that you don't deserve to be one of us. Now, I can overlook a lot of the other bullshit. The elastic bridges and flip-flops at the shippers and receivers. That's between you, your company, and the customers. But whenever your doings are interfering with me, whenever it's interfering with other drivers, that's where we have the problem and where you should be fired. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up for people that want to confront people that's trapped in the fuel island, I really don't recommend getting a camera involved in it, because I understand where the logic is coming from with this. And the logical way of thinking on this is, oh shit, they got a camera, I need to get out of here before my company sees that video. But the truth is, you get a camera involved, it will turn someone to be even more irrational, to punching you in the face. I've seen that happen from people using cameras. being trapped in the fuel island, yeah. You get a camera involved, they're going to straight up. I've seen one driver straight up refuse to move until that guy deletes the video. So getting a camera involved, most of the time, it does not resolve the issue. It multiplies it. So, but what I recommend before, I mean, if you really want to get a camera involved and go for that clout, by all means do that. But before resorting to that, try to approach that person rationally and talking with them peacefully before resorting to that. Now, when I'm confronting, I'm not an asshole. I don't raise my voice. But at the same time, I'm not all happy and all K-pop idol when I walk up to them. It is very simple and very direct and very in a respectful manner. Hey, I'm on a tight schedule, and if you don't mind, I really need to get out. And most of the time, by being like that, they will move. But that's all I've got on that one. So be safe out there. Have respect for one another, and don't drink the fish tank cleaner. Thanks.